Hello, this is Miss Jones here, and this video is for my grade 11 students. And what we're going to be doing is we're going to be talking about what we're going to do for this first week of school. Okay, this first week of school is going to be a very short one. We only start on Wednesday, but we do still have a lot of stuff to do. So, as you may know, this is a hybrid course. Meaning that you have the option to complete this course either in person in our classroom or you can complete it online. You'll have access to Chromebooks in my classroom, so you can definitely work on this there. In fact, I expect you to. But of course, if you need some extra time, if you don't get everything done in class, you can work on this stuff at home if you have a stable internet connection. Now, the reason why I'm doing a hybrid course is because I do expect to be taken out of class a few times this year. I do have a bunch of extra teacher responsibilities, so I might need to be going up to the office and helping other teachers and staff. So, there might be times in class where, I instruct you to pull out your Chromebooks and continue the lesson on your own. But, after last year with distance learning, I expect everyone to be able to do that well. And if you need any help, of course, I'll be here to answer your questions. So this first week of class, what we're going to be mainly doing is we're going to get to know each other. We're going to do a few icebreaker activities. We'll be able to introduce ourselves to our classmates. You guys will be able to introduce yourselves to me. And also we're going to do a few pre-tests. Now I know that doesn't sound like a lot of fun, but it's really important for me as your teacher to get an idea of where you're starting at. That way I can develop these lessons more tailored to you and your specific needs. So these pre-tests aren't terrible. In fact, I think they're pretty fun. And I'm going to show you real quick where you can find these pre-tests on Canvas if you choose not to do the printout copies that I give you in class. So this is going to be helpful for you too if you're transferring into my class a little later than everybody else. You'll be able to find these pretty easy peasy. So if you go to the Canvas homepage, now this is just a test course. This isn't your class, but you're going to get something that looks almost identical to this. If you go to modules and you look at the top of the page, well, first you'll see a lot of our welcome to class stuff. You'll see the syllabus and the late work policy. I've talked about this in my introductory video, which you should have seen here in the long first day of school video introduction video if you happen to be absent for that first day. So we're just going to go ahead and minimize that. We'll minimize that too. We don't need this stuff just yet. But for this first week, you'll see in Module 1, you'll see that the first 5 assignments here are titled Pre-Test. And so we have Pre-Test, what kind of learner are you? Pre-Test, how do you annotate stories? Pre-Test, how do you explain what happens in a story? Pre-test, can you infer what this meme means? And lastly, pre-test, can you make an argument? So this is all we're going to do this first week, and then we'll do this other stuff next week. So don't worry about anything past activity 1.1.6. We're just going to focus on the first 5 this week. So if you click this first one, all right, if you click this first one, you'll see that the assignment is locked until August 18th because I'm using my student version here. So I'm going to leave the student view, make that a little easier for you. All right, this is what you should be seeing as soon as school starts. So this is a Google Doc. What you're going to do is you're going to click File, Make a Copy. And it's okay if you title it Copy, which child do you identify with? You can name it something else if you'd like. It doesn't really matter what you choose to name it. But you'll make a copy of this document and it'll open up for you in a different tab. Now here you're going to see a little cartoon. You're going to see a little illustration with 10 children climbing a tree. Now this tree here is a metaphor. Okay, this tree represents education. Okay, how do we feel in the educational system? How do we feel in school? And each of these little children, that's going to be a metaphor for us. All right, and so you can see that these children, they're, and I'll zoom in here so you can see a little better. Let me zoom in here. Okay, you can see these children here, they're in various positions on this tree and they all have a number. So we can see that student number 1, she's kind of sitting here on this branch, she's high up. All right, so she's high in the educational system, so we can assume that she's a good student, but she's looking up at this student who's showing a little more confidence in his face and who's a little higher than her. All right, so, You can interpret this picture however you see. Okay, maybe you see this little child looking at number 2 here, maybe with a little bit of jealousy. Or maybe you see number 1 here, maybe not sure about how high up on the tree she is, okay? Maybe she's enrolled in a class that might be a little too tough for her. You know, maybe with student number 2, and maybe she doesn't feel confident about being at that level, you know, with a student who obviously looks a little gifted and talented. Now we see other students here as well. So for example, I definitely identify with child number 10 here. Okay, he's cool. He's not really high up on the tree. He's not really high up in his education, but he's relaxing. He's taking it easy. All right, we see some kids who are just starting their educational growth. We see some kids that are, you know, on their way there, like with number 3 and number 9. We see that number 9 is a helper. Okay, number 9 is helping number 8. And I don't know how you want to interpret number 7. Maybe 7 is helping hold the ladder steady for number 8, or maybe they're down here causing a ruckus and just shaking it, trying to get them off the ladder. I don't know. But see, here's what's great. You can interpret this picture however you want, because what you're going to do is you're going to come down here and you're going to explain to me which of these children you think identifies closely to you. Which of these children represents you and your educational journey. And you're going to explain to it, you're going to explain it to me, excuse me. You're going to explain that to me down here below in this text box. All right, maybe you sympathize with number 6 here. Maybe you keep trying your best at school, but you just end up falling. You know, that's okay. This is really important because this is going to tell me where you're at, and it's also going to show me, you know, how well you can write too. So, you know, write as completely and thoroughly as you can. Explain to me which student you identify with the most, and that's going to be your first pretest. Now your second one, okay, this one's a little more cut and dry. What you're going to do is you're going to read a short story. It's titled At Livia's Bar. And one of the skills that I want to see you use here is I want to see how you can annotate a story. So you can either choose to do this in person. I'm going to be giving you a printed copy of this story that you can read in class. And if you choose to use a highlighter or a pen to annotate this, that's fine. But you can also annotate this by, you know, just like what we did before, clicking File, make a copy, okay? And you can annotate this story in several ways. For example, as you're reading, you know, I ask that you tag the copy. So identify the title, the author, and then as you read, tell me what genre this story is. What kind of story is this? Is this a fantasy, a science fiction? Is it nonfiction, fiction? You tell me. And as you're reading, what I want you to do is I want you to identify main ideas. So, you know, say you think this is a main idea, you can highlight it. Come up here to the top to the highlighting tool, highlight that in yellow or whatever color you please. And I also want to see you guys make comments too. So if you want to make a comment as you're annotating this story, okay, you highlight what you want to comment on. You come here to where you see the text box with a plus mark in it. You click Add Comment, and you can leave a comment right there. I think this is interesting. All right, it's as easy as that. So try to leave about 5 comments, but you know, I make sure you follow the directions as well. Tag the story, highlight key details. You know, if you see something that's confusing to you, circle it, highlight it, underline it. Leave at least 5 meaningful comments in the margins. And also you'll see that you have this purpose for reading question. Now this is really easy. You don't really have to do a lot of thinking here. What you need to do is you need to go back to the page. And at the top of the page, 1.1.2, you'll see in this text box it says purpose for reading question. All you're going to do is copy this question and you're going to paste it on your document right here on this box. It's that simple. That's all I want you to do. But as you're reading this story, you're going to find an answer to this question. What does the girl's imaginary world reveal about her real life? And when you're done reading this, when you're done highlighting and leaving comments, you'll come down to the bottom of the page and you will answer that question here in this box, okay? But you're not done with this story just yet. So that's the second pretest. The third pretest, it's very short. You know, I'm going to have a space for you to write this down on paper in the classroom, but if you want to do it online, if you want to turn it in this way, what you're going to do is there's going to be a blue box up here that says submit assignment. You're going to click that Submit Assignment, and a text box is going to open up at the bottom of the page, and you're going to analyze the story, explaining the important connections and ideas you've learned. Okay? And so this is going to be the same assignment that you just annotated at Livia's Bar. Okay, you're going to tell me what's going on in the story, you're going to analyze it, you're going to make sense of it, and you're going to write down your analysis in the text box that opens up at the bottom of the page. Okay, so that's 3 pre-tests, 2 more to go. This next one's really fun and easy. For this, I'm looking for your skills in inferring important data. Okay, I want to see how well you can make an educated guess. And so what you're going to see here is you're going to see a meme. Okay, I'm not going to explain this to you because I want you to explain it to me. Another text box is going to open up at the bottom of this page, and you're going to explain to me by making inferences, okay, by making an educated guess. What does this meme mean? Why is it funny? Okay, if I'm just a complete boomer and I don't understand meme culture, okay, your job is to explain to me why it's funny. Okay, it's that simple. And that just leaves one last pretest that we'll do this week. Pretest 1.1.5. Now this is a little tricky. What you're going to do is you're going to make an argument using claim evidence reasoning. So you'll see this box here, and just like what we've done before, we're going to make a copy. And the question asks, does the way your classroom is decorated affect your learning? All right, so I'm asking you a very open-ended question here, and you're going to have to make a specific claim. Don't give me anything wishy-washy. Okay, either tell me that your classroom decorations do or do not affect your learning. You're going to make your main claim here in this box. It's okay if this is just one sentence. Okay, your claim can be just one statement. But I want you to back up the claim that you're putting in this first box with evidence. Okay, this can be evidence from your real life. Okay, this can be evidence that you pull from the internet. Maybe you found an educational article that talks about classroom decorations and how they support learning. Okay, this can be statistics, a quote from somebody influential and important. Okay, or like I said, this can just be a personal anecdote. This can be a personal story from your life and your experience. Okay, you're going to put your evidence in the second box, and in the last box, you're going to put your reasoning. So you're going to explain how your evidence that you used, your data, okay, your argument, is going to support your claim, your main argument claim up here at the top. You're going to explain it to me like I'm 5. You're going to explain it to me like I don't know what is going on. Now, if you've never submitted anything on Canvas before, it's really easy. You know, it's kind of hard for me to show you because class hasn't started yet. You know, if I go into my student view account, it's going to disappear here. Yeah, see, it says this assignment is locked until August 18th. So I'm not going to mess with that too much. But it's really easy to submit assignments on Canvas, and I'll go over this in class as well. All you do is you click the blue button at the top of the assignment page that says Submit Assignment, and it's going to give you the option. Okay, if I'm asking for a text box submission, you just need to write in the text box and click Submit. That's going to be the easiest. If I'm asking you to turn in a file from your Google Drive account, so for example, that last activity I showed you, the CER activity, after you fill out that document, you're just going to submit that as a file, and there'll be a few tabs that open up, a few options. You're going to click the option that allows you to access your Google Drive file. You're going to find that file that you edited, and you're just going to submit it. It's that easy. And of course, I'll show you how to do this in class. So if you need any extra help, send me a message over Canvas, email me, pull me aside during class, and I can walk you through it. But anyways, that's what we're going to be doing this first week of the 21-22 academic year. Thank you so much for being my students, and I look forward to learning with you guys this year. Thank you much. Take care.